Welcome back to episode 39 of Rants and Reviews. Grab yourself a cup of tea, some snacks, and a notebook, as we're about to recommend you some excellent books. So, what are you currently reading?
I have just finished The Name of the Star by Maureen Johnson, which was a reread for me this year. I think I enjoyed it just as much as the first time, although it was a long time ago that I read it, so I can't quite remember what my exact thoughts were. And I don't know if my review was very helpful. Anyway, I just finished that, and I'm just picking up Loki, Where Mischief Lies by Mackenzie Lee, which I'm very excited about. And I've never read a superhero book, supervillain book, Marvel book, based on characters that already exist, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, I've read, like, Sidekick by Aurelie Wallace, and that was really cool, and that was about superheroes, but they weren't, like, already known superheroes, if you get what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah, I'm looking...
We're part of the Avengers, or the anti-Avengers, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
The villains of the Avengers.
Yeah, but I love Mackenzie Lee and her stories, so I'm hoping that she and the wonderfulness that is the character of Loki are going to be, like, create this magical book. So that's what I'm hoping.
I'm sure that would happen. I want to read it also. Although, I remember when I first heard about it, I thought it was going to be a graphic novel and I was really excited about it. But it's not, is it?
No, it's definitely not.
It's just like
It's just a normal
usual book.
Yeah.
How dare it be a normal book? But yes, I want to read it too.
Yeah.
When I get around to it.
It's on the list.
Yeah. It is on the list. Everything's on the list.
Yeah. In our last episode, you weren't reading anything.
I am reading something now!
Actual book podcaster.
Actual reading. Yes, and you'll probably be proud of me because I am finally continuing on a series that we talk about a lot, and I'm reading Queen of Shadows.
Nice.
By Sarah J. Maas.
Woohoo, yeah.
I gotta continue the Throne of Glass series because
Yes.
I gotta beat you to the end of Throne of Glass before you finish Across Thorns and Roses.
Well,
even though you have like four books, and I have like how many other books? But
yes, but once you've read Queen of Shadows, then I think we'll be in the same place.
Oh,
I don't think I've read Empire of Storms yet, which is book 5. So I may have
beat you for one.
Let me just look. We're Googling already, and we're 2 minutes in. Empire of Storms, Sarah J. Maas. No, I haven't read it yet. Okay.
Oh.
So, yeah, as soon as you finish Queen of Shadows, we're in the same spot.
Ooh. The last book in the series, Air of Fire, I read in September. Mm-hmm. So it's been a wee while since I've read anything in this series, so I had to, like, Google a wee summary to find out what I was doing.
Yeah, I totally have to do that every time I pick up a book as well. Well, like one of her books as well.
Because I think I read the first 3 pretty close to each other, so I didn't really need to like read up. But this is like over 9 months later, so I was curious to find out what was happening because I didn't know what was happening at all. All I remember was there was some kind of forest fight with fire.
Ah, yes.
At the end of the last book, and then I don't remember what happened. But yeah, so I am about 2 chapters in now.
Oh, yeah.
So I've pretty much just started it, but I am slowly slipping back into the world, and I am
remembering who people are.
Yeah, I remember everybody and what happened in the last book. Because I read a summary, but somehow things were skipped out of the summary. So now I was like reading it. I was like, oh, that happened. Of course, yes. So, yes, I'm going to finish that at some point. Who knows when, because...
It's quite big.
I'm terrible at reading books.
Excellent. Okay, so today we are doing... What are we doing? What do we call this? Basically, what we've done is we had a look on Goodreads at the best YA books, and there's a list, and we'll link it in the show notes. It's literally called Best YA Books. And we've taken the top 20 from that list and chosen 5 books each that we've read from said list. And then we have chosen books that we suggest reading if you enjoyed those 5 books. Is that pretty much what we've done?
Yes.
Is that an okay summary of what?
Yes, that sounds very complicated.
It sounds
but
complicated.
If you like this, read this.
Yes.
That's the gist.
Yes.
Everybody else has done it before. Lots of videos on YouTube about it.
Totally.
Although, I will say, on the context of this, I saw a great TikTok the other day that was books to read recommended on if you've enjoyed this musical.
Oh, cool.
So it's like, if you enjoyed Waitress, you should read this book. If you enjoyed Hamilton, you should read this book.
Cool.
I was like, yes!
That's awesome. Did you take any notes away from that?
I am really bad at books at the moment, so I was like, no, I'm not going to listen to this.
Yeah. You don't have time for that.
No, I don't. And it's just, I will come back to it. I think I might have liked it, so if I can figure out how to go back and find the post I've liked, then I might be able to look at it again at some point, but I don't know. I'm old.
I don't know things.
I'm not very in with the down with the kids of TikTok.
Man, I know nothing. Okay, anyway,
Anyway,
moving along. You always go first. Should I go first?
you can go first, but once.
Okay, so one of the books that I've chosen from said book list on Goodreads was Eragon by Christopher Paolini. And so if you don't know what Eragon is about, basically dragons is the main theme. It's about a boy and he finds an egg and he basically becomes one of the last dragon riders, and it follows the story. Anyway, really cool, and I really liked it when I read it when I was like about 15, and I think I've read it maybe at least once more since that first time. So basically Dragons is the name of the game. So if you liked Eragon and that series, or even just the first book, because I haven't finished the series either. Anyway, if you liked Eragon, then I would suggest checking out The Last Name Sarah by Kristen Ciccarelli? I'll link it in the show notes. But anyway, The Last Name Sarah. And it is about dragons as well. And basically, that's my main connection between the two.
Yeah.
And The Last Name Sarah is a little bit different in that the main character is a dragon hunter. So there's like lots of dragons around, whereas in Eragon, they're basically non-existent. So Asher, the main character, is a dragon hunter, and there's like a betrothal to this guy that she really hates, and so her father like cuts her a deal, and she doesn't have to marry him if she goes off and hunts down like kind of like the king dragon, and brings back the head of that said dragon. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was quite cool. It was quite fast paced.
Yep.
And kind of adventure-y and fantasy world and dragons. So yeah, Eragon, The Last Name Sarah.
Dragons.
That's my first one. Dragons. Basically is the main theme.
Yep.
Get on it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. My first one is Divergent by, I don't know, this is the only one I didn't write.
Veronica Roth.
Yes, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, Veronica Roth.
Let's go with that. So to go with that, I have gone down the dystopian segregation type thing and gone with The Darkest Minds by Alexander Bracken.
Nice.
Because in Divergent, when they come of age, they get to choose which faction they go into. So the entire, I guess you can say community is split up into 5 different factions, and they all each get to choose which one they go into. But in Darkest Minds, when they kind of come of age, sometimes it's a little bit younger than that, but they don't get to choose, but they get split up into these, let's call them factions, or faction-like things. Yeah. So, but the fun part is they have powers. Cool. That's what gets them separated into the different faction-like sections. So the main thing basically that's different is that the Darkest Minds people, they don't get to choose their powers, and if they end up being a specific, I think it's red and I think maybe like orangey yellow. It's been a while since I've read this book, but they like basically get automatically disposed of because they've got like the better powers basically. So both of these books basically are all about the distaste for the leaders and this faction like community, and they don't like how things are run, so they're trying to like dispute it and take things down.
Nice.
So yes, if you liked Divergent, read The Darkest Minds.
Nice. So my next one that I chose from the list was City of Bones, because it wouldn't be a Rants and Reviews episode if I didn't bring up a Cassandra Clare book. Ironically, the smallest of all Cassandra Clare books is the first one. Anyway.
And it's still pretty big.
Yeah, it's decent.
Yeah.
Actually, City of Ashes is smaller.
Oh. Is that the third?
Which also surprises me. And City of Fallen Angels is not that big as well. Anyway, it's not as big as her most recent ones, and maybe she should actually take a leaf out of her old books and chop them down a bit. Anyway, so I actually struggled with basically all my choices. This was a really hard episode to write notes for. But the only kind of series that I thought maybe you might like if you liked City of Bones and that kind of whole series is the Fallen Kingdom series by Morgan Rhodes. And it's not really similar in sort of... It's both YA. They're both YA. But it's in the Fallen Kingdom series is set in a fictional world rather than Shadowhunters is in, our world. But the Fallen Kingdom series it's like a long series. Yeah. It's like 6 books long. It's got a lot of characters and they kind of overlap. And there's magic in it, and like family drama and romance and love triangles.
That sounds
and
exactly like City of Bones.
And yeah, the more like I thought about it, I was like, actually, you know what? Even though one is like City of Bones and the Shadowhunter series is definitely more kind of supernatural. There's demons and there's other worlds and things like that. And Fallen Kingdoms is definitely more fantasy. There were a lot of similarities, and I reckon if you could just swap out the paranormal supernatural for the fantastic, I don't know, fantastical, then they're on a kind of similar level of story, etc. And I actually binge read this whole series. I think it was like 2 years ago now, the Fallen Kingdom series. And I don't normally do that, as we'll just talk about Sarah J. Maas. Like, read one book, maybe you read the next one, and then there'll be a long break. Yeah. And then you'll pick up and you'll have to find the Spark Notes version of the book because you can't remember what the heck you're talking about. Well, I managed to get out all these books from the library, and I read all of them within the space of about 6 weeks. Ooh. I think I just kind of plowed through them all, which was really fun at the time. But then when it was done, I was like, I
hate it when that happens.
Yeah, and it kind of left a hole in my soul, And it was really weird because I didn't love the writing of it. There's definitely writers that I enjoy reading a lot more. However, I really liked the story and the characters, so that kind of kept me going a bit more. Yeah. So, City of Bones, Fallen Kingdom series, and the first book in that series is called Fallen Kingdom, I think.
Cool.
Maybe. I may have made that up.
Google it.
But if I'm wrong, it's Fallen Kingdom series by Morgan Rhodes.
All right. My second one that I chose, well, technically I'm not going in order, but the second one on my list now is Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. Chbosky?
Yeah, we're really bad at last names.
I know. This is why we normally just write blog posts.
Yeah, this is why we're writers and we've never been podcasters except for here we are in season 4. So
to pair with Stephen Chbosky's Perks of Being a Wallflower, I have also got another book which I can't pronounce the author, which is Aristotle and Dante's Secrets of the Universe. Wait, Discover the Secrets of the Universe, sorry. By Benjamin Allier Saenz.
Yes.
I apologize to all these people that I butcher their names, who are probably never going to listen to this, but anybody who listens to this that is like also called these names. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You gave it a go.
I gave it a go. I'm sorry. But both of these involve quite quiet, unsure, kind of outsider teenagers who are trying to just get through life, basically. Mm-hmm. So Perks follows Charlie, who finds a new set of friends, whereas Aristotle and Dante find each other, and they both of the books, they just have lots of friendship and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they just find their people. And I think that's really cute. And I think Perks of Peanut Wallflower is a bit deep.
Mm-hmm.
And while Aristotle and Dante apparently discover the secrets of the universe, I'm pretty sure this isn't as deep.
No. Yeah, I would agree with you on that one.
It's a little bit, but not really. But it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it is good.
I don't really have much to say other than, yeah, they are basically similar stuff.
Cool. Great.
Yeah.
So my third one, we were a bit confused as to why it was on the YA list, but because it was on there, I'm claiming it. And that is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. And if you don't know what The Hobbit is about, well, that's on you, and you should go and read the book, because it's very short and it's glorious. That's what it is. And you've probably seen the movies anyway. So, think of The Hobbit, and my recommendation, if you liked The Hobbit, and even if you've only seen the movies and you haven't read the book, but you want to read another book, that is The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. And it's technically, they're not, they are similar in that they're fantasy books. One major difference is the size. The Hobbit is, my version of The Hobbit is about 300 pages. My version of The Name of the Wind is about 650. So, it's not just an afternoon read for The Name of the Wind, unless you're a mega fast reader, and then props to you, tell me your secrets. But they're both in a fantasy creative world. There's magic and there's monsters, and both of them are great characters. There isn't like a big kind of quest in The Name of the Wind, I don't think. It's more like a long story based on the main character's life. So he's kind of telling the story of his life, and that's the book, rather than an event based like you have in The Hobbit, where it literally is to go to the Lonely Mountain or whatever. So there are differences, but again, in that kind of fantasy kind of world, yeah. Oh, The Name of the Wind was such a good book, and I haven't read the second one yet, which is called The Wise Man's Fear. And I think I'm kind of putting it off, because even though I loved The Name of the Wind, Patrick Rothfuss is writing a third one, but that hasn't come out yet.
Oh.
So I kind of don't want to read the second one and love it a lot and need the third one and not be able to have it.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Yeah, you feel me.
Yeah.
Book nerd problems. We got them. So, yeah. The Hobbit, The Name of the Wind.
Cool.
Get on it.
Cool. Okay, which one am I going to go next? I'm going to go with The Book Thief, which is...
Nice.
I want to say joint as one of my top books ever, even though I've only read it once, and I really want to reread it, but we'll get around to that. So The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. Why do I always keep bringing up this book?
You always do that. Again with the last name drama.
Yeah, The Book Thief by Marcus. I recommend reading The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris.
Nice.
Other than the fact that they're both historical fiction following the same storyline type, all about World War II and etc., and how the Nazis took over Europe, basically.
Yeah.
So the main difference is that The Book Thief follows a child who's kind of mostly unaware of what is happening, kind of a bit naive, whereas The Tattooist of Auschwitz follows Lael, who is a prisoner in one of the concentration camps. So there is a big difference there. But they do have similar kind of vibes. They're based around the same time, but there's also the relationships are really cute, and even the relationships in the concentration camp, which you wouldn't think are cute, are actually kind of cute, and how Lael finds his love of his life, and tries to escape with her, etc., etc. Maybe that was a spoiler. I don't know. You should read it. So it doesn't matter. And I haven't read the second one of that either.
Okay.
But I want to. But yes. So The Book Thief, Tattooist of Auschwitz. You should read both of them if you haven't read any.
I love The Book Thief, and I read it basically in one sitting. Like, not, I think I started it on like a Friday, and it was winter in England, and it was mega cold, and I just spent like all of Saturday just on my bed, and my bed was like next to the radiator, so it's just on my bed against the radiator just reading, and that's like the first thing I think of when I think of The Book Thief.
It just gives me feels.
All the feels.
And The Tattooist of Auschwitz did give me feels as well.
Nice. Okay, so my next one is The Host by Stephanie Meyer. Meyer?
Maya.
Maya?
I'd say Maya.
Yeah, me too. Anyway, The Host. So if you are familiar with Stephanie Meyer, anyway, Stephanie, our lovely friend Stephanie, she of course wrote the Twilight series, but after she wrote the Twilight series, she wrote a book called The Host, and I feel like have you read The Host?
No, I own it, but I haven't read it.
Most of the people I talked to about books, I don't know, if this ever comes up with people, they haven't read it. So, podcast listeners, let us know if you've read this book. If you're not familiar, it's about the Earth, and it has been invaded by a species. Sorry, it's kind of like an alien species that takes over the minds of humans, but leaves their bodies intact. So it kind of like gets into your brain and lives as your body. So there's like an alien called Wanderer who invades the body of a girl called Melanie. But normally the host, so in this case Melanie, would like you just like let them in. So Wanderer would have no problem being in Melanie's body, all G. Except for Melanie kind of fights it and tries to get possession of her mind again. So it's kind of like this tension between this alien called Wanderer living in Melanie's body and Melanie trying to get her body back, and the two girls kind of living out kind of two separate lives, which makes it kind of awkward because there's also two boys. So instead of a love triangle, you kind of have like a love square, which is, you know, because like Melanie likes one boy, but Wanderer likes the other boy, but they're both in the same body. Anyway, the concept is really weird, but at the time I remember really enjoying it. But in this, I really struggled to find a book that would be similar in genre to this, because I'm not much of a sci-fi person or alien kind of. But well, I'm not an alien, but I don't read alien books either. So I've kind of settled on The Fifth Wave by, I did not write Rick Yancey, is it?
I don't know.
Cool. Oh, man, I'm good. Rick Yancey. Okay, The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. So that is basically why I have suggested The Fifth Wave, because basically aliens and Earth. So in The Fifth Wave, it's a normal Earth, but the aliens are kind of invading, and it follows these kids. So that is the only connection that I can find between the two, but I really struggled with this one. I really did. But if you like The Host and that kind of alien kind of vibe, you could read The Fifth Wave. It's kind of dystopian too, kind of sci-fi. I don't know.
You're not selling it.
I'm really not. But give it a go, and if you think I'm completely wrong, come back and tell me, and I will take that hit. That is fine. Because you guys, it was hard. It was really hard. So quick, you have to take over. Tell me your next one.
I actually struggled a little bit with my next one too.
Excellent. Good.
Which, when I tell you which one it is, you'll probably be surprised.
Oh, okay.
It was The Lightning Thief.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. I couldn't think of anything other than other Rick Riordan books.
Well, I can think of two things already that I would suggest based on that.
Give me a moment.
Okay.
So what I settled on was Lore Olympus.
That was one of my thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
So technically, not a book, but a web series. We've talked about it a lot, but I basically took the whole Greek mythology thing, and I couldn't actually think of anything other than mythos, which is basically the same as Lore Olympus, because it doesn't really relate to Percy Jackson other than Greek mythology.
Yeah.
So basically, I decided that if you want the Greek mythology part, you can go for Lore Olympus or Mythos. But if you wanted, like, the adventure and hero's journey type aspect of it, then you should just read the rest of Rick Riordan's books.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of
there
them.
are more. Just read all his books.
Like, because if
fine.
you've literally just read the Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, that is just the first in a series of 5 that you should read. And then after that, it's another series of 5.
Yeah.
And I think after that, it's a series of 3. And I think after that, it's another series of 3 or 4. And then I think after that, it's a series of 5, which have not been finished yet. So
basically, if you've read the first one, you're in it for life.
Yes. I haven't got there yet. I will get there.
No.
But
And I've only read 2, so...
Yes. So if you enjoyed the hero's journey adventure part, the rest of Rick Riordan's books does that for you. Doesn't necessarily always follow Percy, but follows other heroes. So you should go for that. If you want more Greek mythology, go for Mythos, go for Lore Olympus, whatever you feel like. Recommend them both.
Nice. I'm really glad that your main book for The Lightning Thief was just more by the same author, pretty much. Because that's what I've done for my last book. And my last book is Holes by... Okay, you know how we were talking about last names before? And we've talked about Holes... Satcher? Okay, but then... Okay, so we always thought it was Holes by Lewis Satcher. Satcher? Anyway, we always talk about this. Was on Goodreads today, just checking in. And in his like little bio on the Holes book, it has in brackets
His
after
pronunciation.
Satcher, it says... Yeah, and it says Sacker.
Oh,
So we've been so wrong this
I'm
whole
sorry.
time. I'm sorry, Lewis.
Oh.
But you know what we've just done? We've learnt, and now we're going to take that going forward. I mean, we're
Yes.
going to forget about it.
We're going to
the first
forget,
couple
but
of times.
we'll remember.
Yeah.
And if you
So,
have listened to
Lewis Sacker.
this episode and you want to listen to it again, take a shot every time we screw up a name.
Yeah, it'll be a really, really good time by the end of it. In fact, you know what? Go back to episode 1. Start from there.
No,
It's
we
gonna
don't.
take you a couple
we
days,
don't want anybody
but,
blacked out.
Maybe like alternate between a shot and a chocolate or something.
Oh, I'd do that.
Right. Anyway, back to Holes. So, as I was saying, I'm glad you picked more Rick books after Lightning Thief because Holes, I love Holes, and but I couldn't think of anything that was kind of be as good as Holes and in the same kind of similar genre. So I've literally picked Small Steps, which is the book that comes after Holes. But I don't think very many people know that it actually exists.
No. Because I feel like
most
a lot of people study holes in high school.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
So-
I definitely have read Small Steps, but I think it was a long, long time ago. Because it's about X-ray, right? An armpit.
Yeah, so the book is 2 years after the events in Holes at Camp Green Lake. So the story doesn't follow Stanley. It follows Armpit and X-ray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they're both living in Austin, Texas, and Armpit now works for a landscape gardener, still digging holes, while X-ray drives around getting into trouble, according to the description. Armpit has worked hard to save $800, which he foolishly invests in X-ray's scheme to buy and sell concert tickets for twice the price.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, and I remember enjoying this book when I was reading it. I can't remember, it would have been years ago now. Really enjoying it, and I think Stanley does make an appearance in this book as well, so it's not a complete, like, loss of wonderful Stanley Yelnats. But I didn't love it as much as Holes, because Holes is like a work of art. And but if you did enjoy Holes and you liked the characters, then I do recommend picking up Small Steps, even if it's just to see what X-Ray and Armpit are doing with their crazy, crazy lives.
Isn't the reason he's called X-Ray because he can't see very well and he's the one driving around causing mischief? Can he even, like, see?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, X-Ray.
I can't remember. Yeah.
Okay. That's what you got on that?
Yep, just basically read Small Steps if you liked Holes.
Okay.
But just don't expect to love it as much as you loved Holes. And if you do love it as much as you love Holes, please tell me why. And I will tell you why you're wrong.
You're setting such low expectations for this book.
No, it is fun.
You just insulted Lewis by calling him the wrong name, and now you're dissing his book.
I'm not dissing his book. It's just not quite as good as his other book, which is fine.
Okay, I'm moving on before we insult him anymore.
Poor guy.
So my last one is The Fault in Our Stars by John Green, the amazing YA that everybody loves. And the one I have chosen similar to this is It's Kind of a Funny Story by Ned Vizzini. Vizzini. I'm going to go with Vizzini. Which is similar kind of thing, but instead of like physical health of what are their names? I'm blanking. Hazel and Augustus. Yeah. Yes. So instead of them suffering from their cancer, the Craig, and It's Kind of a Funny Story, is suffering mental health problems. Yeah. And he has been checked into a mental hospital, and it's about the relationship with the other friends in this mental hospital, and they're sharing stories and learning basically how to understand what they're going through. Yeah. And it's really cute. It's really sad at parts. And I think if you enjoyed The Fault in Our Stars...
It sounds just like a John Green book.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
If you're prepared to probably cry a lot, but also smile a lot and awe a lot and have your heart ripped out, but also enjoy it, then this is a book for you.
Perfect. Who doesn't want that?
I
Who
don't know.
doesn't want to be like both laughing and traumatized at the same time?
Anybody who's read John Green's books.
Literally.
And who also read Ned Vizzini's books. Does he have any other books? I feel like he has another book that I know of. Maybe. He's got a few others. But yes, I recommend this because it was cute and moving.
Nice. Very good.
Yes. So, Fault in Our Stars, It's Kind of a Funny Story.
Oh, yeah.
As in the name of the title, not The Fault in Our Stars is kind of a funny story.
It's kind of a funny story. Yeah.
Yes, that's it. That's all my 5. I feel weird ending.
I know. Like, how do we end an episode like this? I don't know. Normally we have other things to talk about.
Do we? I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so. Nope. This is just the end. Welcome to the end. We really did a bad job with authors' last names in this episode. We are so sorry. If you could take the 10 books that we've just talked about, what books would you suggest to people who liked those 10 books? Let us know by popping a comment in the show notes, which you can find at rantsandreviews.blogspot.com, or flick us a tweet at rantsandreviews, or send us a message on Instagram at rantsandreviewspod. Until next time, happy reading.